Welcome to the English Out Loud podcast where you listen to me for tips on how to sound a little bit better when you're speaking. Maybe not necessarily a little better. Maybe you speak really well, but maybe you want to sound a little bit more natural. Well, here we are. You're in the right spot. So keep tuned in and we'll see what we've got, because today I have a plethora of tips on how you can study in your daily life without really taking much time out of your daily life. It's tough. It's tough when you want to study. It's tough to get ahead. It's so boring. That's why I try to say words with a lot of enthusiasm so that you're not bored. Because boring podcasts make bored listeners. Bored listeners don't want to listen. Bored listeners, they want to get the heck out of there. And I don't want that. So, fun tips with a really fun voice, with a really fun presenter named Pat. Let's get to it. As I've mentioned in the past, my name is Pat. I'm from Toronto, from Canada. I live in Mexico in the desert, and I very much enjoy myself out here. It's a beautiful place to be living. I've got to say, for one, get out when you get the opportunity and enjoy Latin America a little bit. Yes, there are dangers in these countries, of course, but do some research, and you'll find that there are also many incredible, beautiful places to get out and visit. I've taken the opportunity to come down here to Mexico, and oh my goodness, even if I had only just done it once, even if I had only just come for 6 weeks, a quick little volunteer trip, it still would have changed my entire view of the world, because these people have a different way of life from how they do where I live and how they do in other parts of the world. So anybody who's listening, if you have the opportunity, take a trip to Latin America. Go learn about the culture, the food, the beautiful people. Go learn about these things. Honest, you won't regret it. You will not. So my first tip of the day, visit Latin America. My second group of tips of the day is going to be a bunch of study tips. As I've mentioned, I want you to succeed. I want that in your daily life, there's no trouble when it comes to studying. I want that you can actually fit it in while you're doing other things. And I'm going to tell you how you can do this. We call this passive learning. Passive learning. It's just what you need. Because you can learn passively. Seriously, you can learn while you're doing other things. You can learn English while you're driving. You can learn English while you're cooking, while you're washing your feet in the shower. You can learn and practice English. You don't have to take a second out of your daily life, except to prepare these things. That takes a little time. But let's see what you can do, because nobody's got time. Nobody has time to study. We are busy people. Busy bees. Let's make sure that we can fit English into that role. Now, the first tip that I want to give is in taking notes for your English. You see, it's tough to have this habit, right? To take notes. It's tough to start that habit, but we all have these fantastic ideas. Sometimes you think of a funny joke and you don't write it down and you forget it. At least that happens to me. I think of funny jokes and I need to write them down or I'll forget them. And I mean, these are jokes, just lots of funny jokes. You got to remember your funny jokes. Another thing is we learn new words and we forget them almost immediately. We forget them because there are so many things going on around us. It's not about being lazy. It's not that you're incapable of remembering them. It's just there's a lot going on. So write them down and look at them again later. Everybody who has a smartphone is capable of doing this at any time. It's so quick. You just pop it open, you find your folder with your notes. There you go. You write it down. New word. One student of mine, and she's very much impressed me with this word, the word plethora. Not only has she successfully said it, because it's got a TH in it, right? It's very tricky. Plethora. She says this word, but she practices it often. And it's because after she heard me use it, she wrote it down in her notes because she's a very good student. And then she used it many times. Maybe not every conversation, but frequently I hear her use this word. And it's because she wants to get better with it. So take notes on your phone. That's the number one tip. Tip number 2 also concerns your phone. Tip number 2 is that you change your phone to English immediately. If you haven't already done this, if you have already changed your phone to English, perfect. Keep it in English. It really helps. You may have noticed yourself that it helps. But if your phone is not in English and you want to improve your spoken English, well, then you need to change your phone to English. Why change your phone to English? Why? Why would you do that? Well, when you change your phone to English, it'll help you think in English. Think about it. When you look at your phone, you look for the words that match the app icons, right? So if you change those words to English, you force yourself to think in English. My phone is in Spanish. I live in Mexico. I need to be thinking in Spanish, Any given moment, I could need to speak in Spanish. So I got my phone in Spanish, and when I look for the clock, I can't look for a clock. I have to look for the reloj. When I look for Google, now I have to think Google because, well, I don't really think Google, but that's what people say is Google. Not everybody. Some people say that. Anyway, the point is when I look through my phone, I have to ingresar el código. I can't just open my phone. I can't unlock my phone. I have to, or enter the passcode. I have to ingresar el código. Oh my goodness. Ingresar el código. Enter your password. So complex. The point is, put your devices in the language that you're studying. You will see results. Now this next one requires a person who is skilled with arts and crafts. A person who doesn't mind getting their fingers sticky with tape. What you've got to do is you have to write notes and post them around your house. Okay, like I said, for my phone, it's in Spanish. My kitchen, however, is in German. My kitchen's in German. My Spanish is pretty good. Lo hablo bien. Lo hablo bien. I speak it well. So my phone's in Spanish, but German, I'm just getting started on. And I'm always in the kitchen. I love cooking. Whether I'm cooking or cleaning in the kitchen, I am practicing my German. In der Küche. You hear that? In the kitchen. Maybe I said that horribly wrong, but this is how I'm learning, is by admitting that I don't really know how to say it that well. In der Küche. The point is, I practice Spanish on my phone, German in the kitchen, and I don't have to take a second away from my schedule because I've got a busy schedule. That's why I can't make these episodes fast enough because I got a lot to do. However, I practice languages throughout the day, and I don't take a moment out of my day to do it. Now, maybe I won't learn quickly, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? So, Post-it notes with your desired language all around your house. If you want to see your language move forward, put notes around the house of things that you're learning. Trust me, this works. It just works. Now this next one I'm going to bring up, some people are going to love the idea of this. Some people are not going to be so keen on this idea. I want you to sing in English. To sing in English. At the very least, mouth out the words. You don't have to sing. If you're not the singing type, mouth out the words. There's so much benefit to this. A few years ago when I started learning Spanish, I had a number of friends from Latin America, from Venezuela, Colombia, and with these people, I didn't know what they were talking about, but I really liked their music. I didn't understand the music either, but I liked it. It had a lot of, life, a lot of rhythm in it. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. Still is. So I downloaded a bunch of those songs, and I started learning the lyrics regularly and just mouthing along. I couldn't really understand them, and I probably couldn't pronounce them that well. But the fact is, this made rolling my R's so much easier. Because I would practice exactly how the singers would do it. Now, this did give me a little bit of a funny accent. Sometimes I'll say things with like a Puerto Rican accent. When I say nos vemos, I instead say no vemo. It's strange. I can't help it. Anyway, that's how I learned my Spanish, or that's something that has helped me so much in Spanish. Another thing as well is if you listen to my interview with my wife, Estefania, she has good English, right? She's really good. And she practices her English by singing. She loves singing. And you can hear the result. When you're singing, you're really stretching out those vowel sounds. You've got to, you want to get the right pitch. You want to get the right everything. And she kills it. She's got a beautiful singing voice. At the same time, she practices her English. So if you are driving in your car and nobody's listening, start singing. It's okay. Put on some English music that you like. Listen along. Maybe you won't get it right away. Just try mouthing out some stuff. It helps your muscles adjust to the music. Learn the lyrics as time goes on. And over time, you'll come to learn this entire song. So many good songs out there. I'll give it some tips on songs later, but try it out. Sing in English. And the next tip, the final tip of today that I want to give. I want to give many, many tips today, but I'll give just these five little tips. 5 and final. The 5th and final tip of the day is to just watch movies, watch TV series, whatever, in English with English subtitles. Will this challenge you? Yes, this will challenge you. It'll drive you crazy a little bit. But hey, try it out. Don't even start with the full thing in English. Do 40 minutes. Do 20 minutes in English. Put on an hour-long movie or episode of something and do half in English with English subtitles, another half in English with subtitles of your native language. Maybe that helps. But the point is, get that ball rolling. And by the way, that same suggestion goes for what I was talking about with the phone. Maybe you can't do all the time your phone in English. That's okay. Start out 4 hours a day. 4 or 5 hours a day. And then start moving it up. As it gets easier, 6 hours a day, 7 hours, 12 hours, 2 days in a row, a week. See what you can do. But the point is, get the ball rolling just to keep moving forward with your language. These are all tips that you can fit into your daily life. Now you've got no excuse. The fact that you have listened to this all the way through means that you have absolutely no excuse for not taking some steps with your English. At least something. At least sing a little tune, a commercial. A song and a commercial. Just sing along with it. Or, put your phone in English. Start with some little things. As you see results, try something else. And then another. And then another. The more you try, the easier it'll get. Well, anyway, I've got to get going for today. I've got a class coming up in just a few minutes. And, well, I just wanted to give those few tips for today. Just wanted to make myself heard. I see I've got people around the world listening to my stuff, which is really cool. People in Australia? Didn't know that they needed tips on their English over in Australia, but hey, I'm happy to help folks. People in the Ukraine, people all over. Absolutely all over. So keep it up. Share this with friends if you got any benefits out of this. Tell a friend of yours who's too busy to practice their English. Just say, hey, give this fellow a listen. Give this guy. He knows a thing or two about studying English. Let your English flow. Let it flow. Let it come out. Practice it regularly. And have fun. Have fun practicing. Well, just about time that I get to wrapping this up for today. Thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure. And episode number 20. Episode number 20. Uploaded. Isn't this a good one? It's been a fun one. Thank you for your time. And you'll be hearing much more from me very soon. Have a good one.